For better or worse, we're going to continue to see advancements on the threat side of things. A multitude of threats that are growing, increasing in speed, increasing in sophistication, increasing in breadth, and unfortunately increasing in severity in terms of the cost of each of these breaches. And so that's going to continue to power growth in this industry. And what we're looking for is security solutions that not only stay ahead of the curve in terms of where those threats are coming from, but also do so and serve our customers in a way that enables them to still operate their business quickly and efficiently. The concept of zero trust is about using security technologies to protect and defend at every step of the way, from your network to every time an application is open, to protecting your data, your users, your individuals. And that concept has really led to a massive growth in the market, of the overall security market, but also an increased specialization. And that's what's powering a lot of the innovation that's happened in the last decade, and that's going to happen for the decade to come.
Zero trust really means assume that someone's already breached the perimeter and is inside the walls of the enterprise. Then what do you do? Because it's bound to happen at some point. What's happened over the last 10 or 15 years is work is much more mobile. Work happens on laptops, on phones, and airports and coffee shops, so that perimeter has become very fuzzy and much more difficult to protect. A lot of the work that we do is no longer on premise, but is in the cloud. And so that's caused a retooling or re-architecture of the security technology landscape. And it's creating a lot of new areas to focus on. And that's really good as an investor because it's creating new companies, new technologies, new opportunities to invest. And it's kind of increasing the market size for this space.
One of the things that's been true about the security market is it protects IT infrastructure. And so IT infrastructure moves and evolves. That opens up new security paradigms. And so AI is just another layer in the layer cake. It's also a wrapper. So it's going to impact every component of security, but also if you think about what needs to happen to protect AI itself, protecting against how bad actors are using AI-based tools to accelerate and increase the velocity and magnitude of these impacts is going to be really powerful.
We've seen, first of all, a lot of our portfolio companies to be in the early waves of the vanguard of the AI trend. We have companies like Onfido, which is a company that uses AI to effectively understand whether you are who you say you are based on your government-issued ID. That's a kind of solution that you couldn't possibly do through traditional manual coding. We've also had companies like Expanse in the security space, which have been very successful around understanding what are anomalies in your network that you couldn't otherwise understand. So we really do think that we've had like a good initial set of companies that give us an understanding of this market, but we expect to see a lot more of this over time, and this application, this technology really permeate a lot of our portfolio companies.
So a great example would be Delinea, a cybersecurity company. They've identified a bunch of areas across their firm where they can take advantage of pre-existing sort of proven AI-based use cases just to make the firm run more effectively. They're actually adding a lot of AI-driven authorization capabilities that's actually creating competitive differentiation in the market. And then last, they are implementing ways to take advantage of AI and change the way that they actually interface with their customers.
Another mega trend that we're watching is around global resilience. And so the reality is a lot of the security problems in this world come from global conflict and come from nation state activity. And that's only getting more complicated in our geopolitics today. Think about water, power, utility infrastructure, old, hard industries that have not been modernized at all, but are increasingly coming online in the face of geopolitical activity. That's going to be quite both scary, but also an opportunity to serve that market better. And even some of the world's largest enterprises need to up their game in security. We're backing a company called EverFox, which is serving global governments and critical infrastructure with their unique security requirements. That's an incredibly important theme that's growing in need and complexity, and the need for specialized solutions that target just that market alone is, we think, a trend that gets powered over the next decade, and EverFox is the leader within that space.
We're all part of one big software enterprise technology group. We have a flexible mandate and what I call shared teams and shared themes that allows us to work across the different pools of capital wherever we have great relationships and ability to add value over time.
For us in tech, the flywheel that really gets working with us is the flywheel between our platforms. And so that's TPG growth, being able to look at early stage trends, early stage companies, looking at innovation, what are going to be the big companies in the next 10, 20 years, and getting in with them early. That helps inform our large cap bio business. We're thinking about how are we building strong companies? How are we driving innovation? And those learnings and insights just really keep repeating and repeating.
Our first investment in the space was out of TPG Growth, a company called Zscaler. And Zscaler was oriented around cloud-oriented security. That led us pretty directly the next year to make a very large investment into a company most people have heard about called McAfee that does antivirus software for enterprises and for consumers. Our thesis there was no company actually removes the base layer of the security. They just keep building more security on top, and they don't want any holes as a result in that architecture. And so what we saw was actually they have a lot of staying power, and it's really the new technologies that'll be added.
You get to see the power of the platform and the ability to share insights across various different stages, and also really play an interesting theme like cybersecurity across all the different parts of the company lifecycle as well.
My name is Peter Leave. I was CEO of McAfee, which was one of the portfolio companies at TPG prior to exiting. We had need for a transformation. The company was operating in a very competitive market, and in many ways the market was moving more quickly than the company. We IPO'd the business, we divested a business, and we ultimately sold the business, all in a very short period of time, and TPG was masterful in helping think through those things strategically. TPG treated us as partners. Now, that was important because our team was working diligently to compete in this very, very crowded market. And we felt as though we had trust and we had alignment, but importantly, they brought value to us and to the business. And that became a big, big part of why we were able to function the way we did and move as quickly as we did, because we were behind and we more than caught up.
My name is Art Gilliland, and I'm the CEO of Delinea. Delinea is a cybersecurity business focused on identity security in particular. Primarily what we're doing is trying to protect your assets or our company's assets from people that want to steal it. As more of our lives move digital, crime is just following it into the digital world, and so our technology and the things we do just become more relevant. If you look at security in general in the past, it's been very system-centric. I own this server, I put security on it. I own this network, I put security in it. But now in a world where you literally are renting applications and infrastructure, you don't own any of those security controls, but you're still responsible. And so for the next decade, I think the places that are going to have the most interesting innovations and the highest value are places where you can actually put the controls. And that's going to be on the user and their identity and what access they have to the data. And so what we do is very specifically about managing the privileges of the user. We're actually the merger of two companies that were about the same size. The beginning of Delinea was transformation and integration and a lot of work. And so TPG is just really thoughtful about helping you think through that and working through the challenges, and then the patience to deal with the messy stuff. When things are great, it's easy to high five. It's when things go sideways and get messy, and TPG really shows up as a partner at that time too, and that was a big point of the reason I wanted to be a part of it.
I'm Sean Berg. I'm the CEO of EverFox. We are the leading provider of trusted, high-assurance cybersecurity technology that supports governments and critical infrastructures across the globe. Our mission is to support our customers, especially in supporting national security. So our technology is a key enabler for them to be able to do business. We are growing not only within our core business, but also bringing in new capabilities to support the emerging challenges that our customers face, given the increasing threat from nation-state actors and the importance of cloud, AI, and other means for them to grow and develop their own set of capabilities. Our biggest opportunity around AI is how we protect it for our customers. So if you think about how governments and critical infrastructures are going to leverage AI, now and in the future, and be, building great big data lakes for them to train their own models on, how are they going to move information into these secure enclaves to be able to process and and identify information from it. Somebody has to protect that. That is exactly what we do. We were a carve out of ForcePoint, and therefore we had to build out our IT infrastructure, HR, had to build out the C-suite. We also had to think through our long-term strategy and how that's going to evolve over time to include organic and inorganic growth, and the partnership with TPG and who they were able to bring into those discussions and give us good visibility around what's happening in the market was unique and hugely beneficial.
Cyber is an exciting market, but it's also a really difficult market to get right. The market moves really quickly and is highly technical. And so we have been embedding and infusing the DNA around being close with our disruptors from our partnership with our growth equity platform, and have been able to use our position right here in Silicon Valley, where we have an advisory network of security professionals and security entrepreneurs, our deep expertise within our own broader TPG platform, where we have a scale portfolio company set of users of these technologies, so we can see what's happening on the front lines of these battlegrounds, and bringing those back in to our investment committee so we can develop really deep perspectives. And I think that what we can put together across all those pieces is pretty much unlike any other large cap private equity firm.
Our investment approach we call growth-oriented transformations. And so that really embodies our investment strategy. So to unpack that, what that really means is we need to invest in growing companies, in growing end markets. But the word transformation is also in there. And what that means is, we like to invest in companies where we can drive positive change. Sometimes that can be a carve out. Sometimes it could be new and different management that can revitalize a company. And so that's where we get most excited, is where we see a market that has a lot of growth to it, but a company that can benefit from our guidance and leadership and help accelerate the growth rate of the business.